Hello, everyone. I'm here in Moscow, and I'm going to teach you a very handy set of patterns that you can use in a lot of different ways. And now, this is going to be, we don't have an hour together here, so what I'm going to do is show you a bunch of different ways to use this in a bunch of different settings, and then it's going to be up to you to spend the time mastering it and taking each small idea and running with it, creating other ideas, seeing where it can go, because I'm only going to give you the introduction to many of them. So, the patterns are based around, there are 4 of them. The patterns are based around the regular paradiddle. So the paradiddle, we're going to call them the 4 paradiddles. That's what we're working on here, the 4 paradiddles. The first one, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. That's the paradiddle that we're all taught from the beginning. The second one is right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left. So you'll notice the important part here is that the double is moving over 1/16th note at a time. Because the original paradiddle we have right, left, right, right. So the 3rd and 4th note. The second example, right, left, left, right. The double is the 2nd and 3rd note. So for the third example, it's going to be the 1st and 2nd note. So the third example is right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left. In the last example, that double overlaps and falls into the downbeat, so it's 4-1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. So remember all of those patterns because you'll use them over and over again when you're working on all sorts of stuff. We're going to look at a couple examples of how to use it today, and the first one I'm going to show you is in a groove. You might have heard of a paradiddle groove before, which is taking a paradiddle, putting a kick on 1 and 3, and putting a backbeat on 2 and 4. And the important thing here is that your ghost notes are soft and your accents are pronounced, and that your hi-hat is not too loud, because your hi-hat should match the volume of your ghost notes on the snare drum. So let's do this same idea, applying these paradiddles to a groove. So I'm going to take you through one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? What's really cool as you start to mess around with these more is you'll start to pay attention to the right hand melody, because the right hand melody is different for each of these paradiddles. So if you take the first original paradiddle and you just listen to the right hand, it's going da 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 da. The second one's going da ga 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 da ga ga ga. Third one ga 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 ga. The last one ga ga. So what you're doing is learning to put the double anywhere. That's at the base of all this the most important part. Because what you want to do is really internalize these patterns in a groove and use them and be able to just recall them without thinking about it to play different patterns. Because if your guitar player comes in and he's like bum ba ba bum ba, if you really break that down, that's the first half of paradiddle 1. The second half of paradiddle 2. If you've already spent the time doing them, you've already internalized it, so now you're able to match whatever melody you're given. Another example, maybe it's ba-da bop bop or ba-da bop bop ba-da bop bop. That's the first half of 3, the second half of 4. Da-da da da da. Yeah. So you're just learning all these different melodies. And then what you can do, and again, I'm blazing through this lesson because we don't have a whole lot of time together. So explore these ideas further. You take your kick drum, you can put it with all your right hands, and then you have second paradiddles. Or you can choose to do just some of the kick drums. So if we do now the third paradiddle, which is we can just choose here and there which kicks we use. So Right? So now it doesn't sound like you're playing a paradiddle at all. No one in the audience is going to be like, oh, this dude's just playing another paradiddle groove. Because you've taken that small idea, and do this with everything, and you've expanded further and further and further. Cool? So that's one way to use this paradiddle groove. And see how many ways, or sorry, these paradiddle patterns. That's one way to use them in a groove. So explore all the different ways, mix and match various tempos, because once you get up to faster tempos, they become very useful. And then you can start moving the accent on the snare to different places as well. So you have So you have all sorts of different patterns there. So anyways, that's groove setting. Where else do I use these patterns? I use these patterns a lot when I'm trying to gain freedom over an ostinato. For those of you that don't know, an ostinato is anything that's repeating over and over again exactly the same. Some very common examples of ostinatos are the samba groove. But an even simpler version of an ostinato is just quarter notes here. Right? Anything that's repeating, you lock it in place, and then you work on improvising with everything else. So, if we have a samba groove, and we want to free up our hands so they can play cool stuff over top, these paradiddle grooves are really helpful there as well. So you start on the snare drum only, and then maybe move a right hand to tom 1. And that's where I'm going to start so you can hear the difference. So we're going to go 1, paradiddle 2, 3, 4. Ready? So as you can hear, since my right hand's on tom 1, you really hear the melody of this half of the paradiddles coming through. So you can use that to create fills. You can use that to create a beat, like that last one. That's a very cool groove. If you have the samba groove going. So you're uncovering all these melodies underneath everything. Now a simpler version of that, if you're not working on kick and, the samba groove and freeing up your hands, let's look at doing, in a groove setting, how can we use, and this is an important step in becoming a better groover, I want to use my kick drum and my left hand on the snare drum together better. I want them to be a team, because right now they're very separate. This is just playing 2 and 4 all the time. This is doing everything else. So another place, if you're not working on the samba, you're not working on a kick drum pattern, another place you can apply these paradiddles is in a groove setting. Because a lot of times what happens is your kick drum gets stuck doing one job, following the bass line, your snare drum gets stuck doing one job, playing 2 and 4, and they get assigned these roles, but you want to start having them work together, like a team. So what you can do now is start playing each of these 4 paradiddles between the kick drum and the left hand on the snare drum. So now you have boom cat boom boom cat boom cat cat doom cat doom doom cat doom cat cat. Try to maintain your ghost notes. Doom 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 cat 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 doom 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 cat cat cat. With your right hand, what you do with your right hand is up to you. The most basic thing to do is to play eighth notes. The next hardest thing to do is quarter notes. And after that, you can do anything. You can go. You can do whatever you want. For now, I'm going to do quarter notes. And then I'm going to play the paradiddle 1 between my right foot and my left hand. So let's go right there nice and slow. Doom, but, doom, doom, cat, doom, cat, cat. Next paradiddle. So now this is turning into an independence exercise in a very different way. And if you want to push yourself further, you can go. And really, honestly, I do this kind of thing all the time when I'm working on any kind of ostinato. If it's a clave on the left foot, if it's something on the right hand, if it's a groove thing, if it's a foot thing, I use these 4 patterns all the time. They're very useful, and they're good building blocks for learning to put that double on any count. And once you start to be able to do that, you'll be surprised at the amount of freedom that you start to develop in both grooves and over ostinatos, and soloing and fills, in all sorts of places. So, write these down. Don't forget. And from the Moscow Drum School, thank you for having me, and I'll see you again. Practice hard.